Hi GarageBand fans, it's Dr. Watson here with another GarageBand video. In this one I'm going to share almost 25 great, useful, time-saving keyboard shortcuts. Some of them I think you use all the time right away as soon as you hear about them. Others, unless you do a lot of work in GarageBand, it might just be simpler just to look for the friendly icon like this red button here and just hit the record button instead of, say, for instance, a shortcut hitting the letter R for record. Anyway, let me go through them in order. I'm going to start off with navigation shortcuts. The one that I think is maybe the most useful navigation shortcut is just to start and stop playback. So if you hit the spacebar, it starts playback of your project. If you hit the spacebar again, it stops playback. Now, if you want to go back to the beginning, you can just hit the return key. The Playhead jumps back to the beginning. If you hit Option Return, it takes you to the end of your project. So Return and Option Return would be number 2 and number 3. Number 4 would be if you hit the forward and back arrow, you can go one measure at a time. So here I am rewinding one measure at a time. Say I'm at measure 22, I want to go back to measure 19. 1, 2, 3, there I am. I'm at 19. If I hit the return key to measure 1, hit the forward arrow or the period, and I can go one measure at a time. You can see the Playhead jumping around. So that's number 4. Number 5 would be if you double click in the timeline, it'll start playback there. So for instance, if I want to start playback at 21, just double click in the timeline ruler and it starts playback right there. So you can also just drag the Playhead and then hit the spacebar, but that's even more work than just double clicking like that and just starting playback. Alright, number 6 are actually 3 in 1. Command Cut, Command Copy, and Command Paste is Command X, Command C, and Command V. Actually, many Mac users know that Command X is the cut, Command C is the copy, and Command V is the paste. So for instance, say I wanted to put a if I wanted to copy this region here called midtones, I would hit Command C, that would copy it. Then I would put my Playhead over here, and well, actually let's put it in a different track and over here, and then Command V pastes it. Of course I really don't want that, so I'm going to edit undo, which is Command Z. So that's my next shortcut. So cut, copy, and paste are X, C, and V, and then Command Z is to undo something. Boy, I use that a lot. You make a change, like maybe you delete an entire track, and then you say, oh wait, I wish I didn't do that. Command Z, and it comes back. Okay. Number 8 is select all. Now the reason I might use Command A to select everything is what if I wanted to put, say, a 2-measure introduction after I had created something. This is an easy way. Now I can just drag the entire project, everything, by having hit Command A, Command All. Now I've got 2 measures where I can insert an introduction, but let me jump back with Command Z. Okay, number 9, Shift Click. Say I wanted to just change something about, oh, I don't know, just say these 4 regions. If I wanted to select them all, I could, of course, click and drag around them, but another way is just to hold the Shift key down and then click, 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 and it just adds on to. So Shift clicking is very useful. That was number 9. Number 10 is to put a split in a region. So for instance, if I wanted to put the Playhead here at measure 8, hit Command T, notice what I've just done. I've created a split now right here between these 2 places in the region. Of course, if I do Command Z, it edit undoes that. Let's go back. There it is, Command Z, and so I'm back to having a joined region. By the way, Command J would have joined them too. So that was number 10. Command T puts a split at the Playhead. Here's maybe one of my favorite ones to have discovered, and that is if I want to copy something, instead of doing Command C and then Command V, you can just Option drag a region. So down here, this Vibra-Slap, if I just drag it while holding the Option key, I can make a duplication of it, right? Let me show you that again. I'm going to just, let's do it with a different one. Let's take this blue audio region, holding the Option key, drag it, and it copies it. Isn't that cool? So option dragging is a super quick way to make a copy of a region. That was number 11. Number 12 is if you want to duplicate a track, especially, for instance, I have an audio track down here, and say you get all of these settings, reverb, EQ, you get everything exactly the way you want it, and you don't want to have to fiddle around and set that up again. Just select the track, do Command D, and it creates an exact copy, including all of these settings here. So that's very useful. However, if you don't want that audio track I just created, Command Z undoes, right? Undo that. All right, so that was number 12. Command D is to duplicate a track. Command S is to save. And I'll tell you what, instead of going into the file menu, selecting save so often, Command S is the way to go. Have your thumb on the Command key, have your forefinger on the S key. I would hit that like every minute or so when you're working in GarageBand so you don't lose anything that you've done. That was number 13. Number 14 is to quit the program, is Command Q. That's true for a lot of programs, but and I'm not going to do that now. I want to keep my program open, but Command Q would be quitting. And then Command Delete, the actual delete key, is if you wanted to delete a track. Now, this audio track down at the bottom has no regions in it, so if I hit the delete key, it's gone, right? Command Z, get it back. But if you try to delete a track like this bass guitar track that has regions in it, right, has all these MIDI green regions, if you hit Command Delete, it'll say, hey, do you want to get rid of that? You say, okay, it's gone. We don't need to get rid of it right now, but that's Command Delete to get rid of a track. All right, the next category of, those are sort of all editing shortcuts. The next category of shortcuts are going to be functions. Probably the one that I like to use the most is record. So for instance, I can set up a count off and a metronome, hit the return key, get back to the beginning, rather than have to come up here to the transport controls and hit the red record button. I mentioned earlier, if I just hit the letter R, and there's my count off, testing, 1, 2, space bar, stop it, go back, let me solo this track, and testing, 1, there it is. So using the letter R for record is a great time-saving shortcut. Let me delete that region. Okay. That was number 16. Number 17, to zoom in and zoom out. You can see the measures here. You can see every single measure, but if I want to zoom out a little bit further, Command and the back arrow, now I'm looking at in groups of 5 measures across the timeline ruler. If I do Command and the forward arrow, I'm zooming in now, and you're actually seeing more and more detail, right? So now you can see every single measure and every beat in each measure and every subdivision of the beat and so forth. So those are the arrow keys with the Command key, zooms in and zooms out. The S key, let's say for instance I only wanted to hear my maracas and drum kit here. Instead of hitting that headphone, which is for soloing, you can just hit S for soloing. And now we're just hearing that. Let me turn off the metronome and the count-in. So S for solo, M is for mute. Now I won't hear, right? I won't hear it until I hit M again. Now the shaker's back. So S and M are 18 and 19, solo and mute for a track. E, as you would think, is this edit shortcut, right? That shows all the edit window down here. But if you hit the letter E, which I'm doing right now, it hides and shows the edit window. So that was number 20. Number 21 is Y. Y shows you the library. It's the last letter of library. Maybe that's why. I'm not sure. But anyway, Y opens up the software instrument library so you can see what you have in there. Okay, similarly, the letter B will open up smart controls. Not sure exactly why that is, but you can see all the DSP plugins like reverb and EQ and stuff like that. Let me go to another track here. B opens and closes that. If it's an audio track, you'll have different smart control options with the letter B, right, hiding and showing those things. That's number 22, I think we're up to. 24 is the letter A, and that, let me close the smart controls. Letter A I use a lot. That's for automation. That shows you all the volume, automated volume changes that you would have in a track. So letter A to turn on and off volume automation. And then I think the last one I'm going to include here is oh, did I show you the loop browser? To show and hide the loop browser, that's letter O, right? Open and close the loop browser. Hey, O looks like a loop. Maybe that's why. I'm not sure. Anyway, the last one I want to show you is the cycle region. Now, normally you would just hit this arrow, the 2 yellow arrows, and it turns on the cycle region area. If you don't know what cycle region is, I have a video on that. You have to check that one out. But anyway, a shortcut for that would be C for cycle region. Turns that on and off. I know I've gone through these very fast, but there's just about 25 shortcuts for you, and I'm sure you probably didn't get to notate all of them. So if you just look in the description of this video down in the text area describing the video, I have a link to a Google Doc that has all the shortcuts that I've gone over in this video, and you can download that and then you'll have them all for yourself. Have fun with GarageBand.